Maya had survived 37 hostile planetary evacuations, 14 diplomatic incidents, and one particularly memorable bar fight on Theta Station, but nothing in her 2 decades as a xenobiologist had prepared her for this. "Corin, they're doing it again," she said, staring at her regulation emergency backpack. The Valkyrie security officer clicked his mandibles in what might have been amusement. His chitinous exoskeleton gleamed under the harsh lights of the research outpost. "Human Maya, perhaps you should simply remove them?" Maya looked at the 3 fuzzy bundles currently nested in her survival pack. They chirped at her, their 6 eyes blinking in perfect synchronization. Each cub was roughly the size of a human infant, covered in downy silver fur that shifted colors with their emotions. Right now they were a contented purple-blue. "I tried that. Twice. They climbed right back in." She pinched the bridge of her nose. "The transport leaves in 4 hours, and I need that pack." The Zarathi cubs, officially designated as Zarathis, domesticus but nicknamed fluffballs by the human research team, had been orphaned when their mother was killed by a rock slide 3 weeks ago. Maya had been studying the local fauna, documenting their behaviors and biological quirks. She'd hand-raised the cubs, fed them, kept them warm. Standard protocol for xenobiological research. Apparently the cubs had other ideas about standard protocol. Corin leaned closer, his translator humming. "The evacuation order is absolute. The tectonic instability will render this continent uninhabitable within 6 planetary rotations. We cannot delay." "I know that." Maya reached for the nearest cub. It squeaked and burrowed deeper into her pack, pulling its siblings with it. Their combined weight made the backpack bulge comically. "The regulations are clear. Indigenous species stay on planet. No exceptions." "Then make them leave." Maya tried again. The moment her fingers touched the first cub's fur, all 3 began emitting a high-pitched distress call that made Corin's antennae flatten against his head. The sound was designed by millions of years of evolution to trigger every protective instinct in their species' adults. It apparently worked on humans too. "Okay? Okay?" Maya pulled her hand back. The chirping stopped immediately. 3 pairs of eyes stared at her with what could only be described as smug satisfaction. Corin's mandibles clicked rapidly, the Valkyrie equivalent of laughter. The human who once stared down a Kravik war beast is defeated by infant creatures 1/20th her size. "This is different," Maya muttered. She'd faced down the Kravik because shooting it was an option. These cubs had weaponized their own helplessness, and they knew it. The outpost's communication system crackled. "Attention all personnel. Transport departure in 3 hours, 52 minutes. All non-essential equipment must be logged for abandonment. Repeat." Maya made a decision that would probably end her career. "What is the carrying capacity of human standard issue emergency packs?" she asked suddenly. Corin's exoskeleton rippled with confusion. "Approximately 30 kilograms, including the pack itself." "Why?" His eyes widened. "Human Maya, no. The regulations say indigenous species stay on planet," Maya interrupted, her mind racing. "But the cubs aren't exactly staying, are they? They're in my personal equipment. They climbed in of their own accord. That is a semantic argument that will not withstand official scrutiny." "Maybe." Maya began emptying the pack's contents: water purification tablets, emergency rations, medical supplies. She kept only the absolute essentials: her data pad with research notes, 1 thermal blanket, and a water flask. The cubs watched with intense interest, their fur shifting to curious green. "But here's the thing about humans, Corin. We're really, really good at finding loopholes. This will cost you your position." "Probably." Maya zipped the pack carefully around the cubs, leaving the top open enough for air. They settled contentedly, purring, a sound their species made when comfortable. "But you know what humans are also good at? Forming inappropriate emotional attachments to small, helpless creatures." Corin was silent for a moment. Then, "The Valkyrie have a saying. The rigid tree breaks in the storm, but the flexible reed bends and survives. Are you saying you'll help me?" "I am saying," Corin said carefully, "that my sensor logs show 3 unidentified heat signatures in the cargo bay. Probably thermal anomalies from the tectonic activity. Nothing that requires investigation before departure." Maya felt something warm bloom in her chest. "Thank you. Do not thank me. If discovered, I will claim you humans are all insane and I feared for my safety." but his mandibles clicked in that way that meant he was pleased. The transport's engines rumbled to life in the distance. Maya shouldered her pack, considerably heavier now, and winced. 30 kilograms of regulations violation chirped happily against her back. "One question," Corin said as they walked toward the landing pad. "What will you do with them?" "The quarantine protocols alone. I'll figure it out." Maya adjusted the pack's straps. Through the partially open zipper, she could see 6 eyes watching the world pass by with wonder. Humans are good at that too. We once domesticated wolves into dogs, turned wildcats into house pets. We brought goldfish into space just because they reminded us of home. The other species find this tendency bizarre. The other species, Maya said, don't understand that this isn't a bug in human nature. It's a feature. We don't just survive, Corin. We connect, we adopt. We make homes out of metal stations in the void, and we make families out of creatures that probably shouldn't trust us but do anyway. The cubs chirped their agreement, their fur now a brilliant, happy gold. As Maya boarded the transport, she thought about the paperwork nightmare waiting for her, the violations, the hearings, the probable demotion. But when the smallest cub poked its head out of the pack and nuzzled her neck, none of that seemed to matter. Humans, she reflected, were the galaxy's greatest fools, and somehow that made them its most dangerous hope.